Hello and welcome to Biddy Buddies. Today we're at Treasure Island, Florida for a sand sculpting event called Sandhenge, which I think is hilarious, by the way. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Cindy.
And together we're the Biddy Buddies.
Hi, this is Cindy with Biddy Buddies, and we're in Treasure Island this weekend. We're going to be going to a Sandhenge event. We thought first we'd tell you a little bit about ourselves and why we decided to do these videos and what got us into it and how we met a little bit. And in the backdrop we will see all kinds of Treasure Island stuff with sand sculpting.
Hi guys, it's Jamie. I'm in Punta Gorda, Florida visiting a friend, and I thought I'd just take a minute to tell you a little bit about myself. I moved to Central Florida about 2 years ago from Denver. Loved Denver, loved the Mexican food in Denver, but I hated the cold and snow, so I had an opportunity to come to the tropics and took it. I worked as a paralegal for 20 years, and when I moved to Florida, I walked away from that career. It was too toxic. The environment was not worth the money that I made, which was very good money. I still work full-time in Florida, but I get to work from home, and it's a much lower stress field. I love history. I love to travel, and I love the beach. I have been single since 1999. I have a grown son. The things I watch on YouTube are true crime, music, history. Never occurred to me to use it for travel research because I honestly don't do much travel research. It didn't occur to me that that was a thing. I typically pick a place where I want to go, find a place to stay, and I go there. I'm learning from Cindy that maybe research is a good thing, and I'm also learning that YouTube is a great resource for it. So maybe we'll learn something together.
Hi guys, so I'm the Cindy portion of the Biddy Buddies. I'm 60 years old, just turned 60 last year, and I'm a widowed mother of 4, 2 kids still in college left, the other 2 have moved out, and granddaughter of 1. I've lived in Florida just about all my life for 1 year when I kind of went crazy and went to Michigan for some reason. I don't know why. Don't make me try to explain that whole situation. But anyway, I immediately came back to Florida and have been living here ever since. I'm like a lot of people, especially our age, where I got bogged down by life. And I really wanted to travel my whole life, but never had the money, always had the kids, and the kids want to go. And anyway, just never really got to do some of the things I wanted to do. Now that I'm getting closer to retirement, now's the time to do it. Started a couple of years ago, just really going out and actively looking for the places I wanted to go to, especially Scotland. I'm a Gordon, and so I'm involved in a lot of Scottish charities here in the States. But that's what I wanted to do, was go to Scotland a couple times and just go to different places I haven't been to. I've been to a lot of places through the country. Just got back from a 2-week stay in Oregon where my daughter is living. But I want to do more, and now's the time to do it. So if you're like me and you're just wondering, waiting for retirement, don't wait for your retirement. Take little day trips everywhere if you can. And what actually got me into this was when I went to Scotland both times, I was looking at a lot of blogs and vlogs about what to do and where to go. Like Jamie said, I'm the planner. But I could not find anything for our age group, or my age group. I found lots of beautiful vlogs about people hiking up mountains and then going on daily treks and then going to 20 waterfalls in a day. And I'm like, okay, but are there park benches along the way? Are my feet gonna hurt? How long of a drive is that? Is my back gonna be killing me? Those were the questions that I needed to know. I needed to know whether I would survive that trek up the mountain and then remember to get back down. So there was nothing for my age group, and I thought, in my back of my head, I thought, this is what I need to do. A couple years ago, or 1 year ago, I met up with Jamie, and she was kind of the like-minded thing, saying, we got to get something for people like us who really want to travel and just need a little inspiration and a motivation and somebody to kind of kick them and tell them, get going and do it now.
Treasure Island is a barrier island along Florida's central Gulf Coast. It's about 114 miles from the Orlando International Airport, driving along the 417 west on I-4 through Lakeland, Tampa, and St. Pete.
Like Jamie said, we're in Treasure Island. We're here for a Sandhenge event, but we wanted to show you a little bit. They have a lot of really cool old hotels along with some newer stuff. We decided to stay in a hotel that was, or a motel that was built in 1947 called the Sands, and it's pretty much like taking a step back into 1947. It's a very cool place. All I care about in a place is that it's clean, and this place is very clean. But the real catch for it is it's right on the beach. The Gulf is right over there, and so that's why we decided to stay here.
So one of the things that's important to me for traveling is knowing if I can get around places. I have a literal broken foot that I walk around on. So rest areas are really important to me, and the ability to sit and recoup often while enjoying a lovely beverage is important to me. And straight up, I'll tell you, one of the reasons that I think we need to do videos for people our age is that I need to know if there's a bathroom somewhere.
It helps.
So here at Treasure Island, what we're finding is there's a promenade. It's kind of like a boardwalk back in between the hotels and the beach. And there are these adorable 1940s looking hotels. Here, I'll pan. But it's like taking a step back in time where there's, I mean, the cute beach colored hotels and everybody's got shuffleboard and it's just darling.
Yeah. This is another little hotel right next to where we're staying called the Sea Chest. Pretty cool place, an older place, and but we really like this one too. Like the palm trees, they're lit up at night. It's got a nice pool. It's kind of a windy day here today, but we don't care. We're on the beach. So this is another one. This one's called the Sea Chest.
So we love a good dock, Biddy Buddies. So you're probably going to see a lot of dock videos. Whenever we see an empty dock in a parking space, we're stopping to take pictures. We're gonna maintain a safe distance from people, 6 feet, and then we're gonna check out the event. These kites are very, very cool. I don't know if you can see the dragon in the background, which is very cool. Casey, you would love the dragon. Yeah, so yeah, this is just probably one of the vendors out here. And Treasure Island at Sandhenge. So what do you think, Jamie?
I think it's wicked cool. Have some of my bevy.
I'm gonna have some of her bevy.
No, I think it's wicked cool. I hate that it's raining. I hope it doesn't mess up the sculpture.
Yeah, so that's just a little bit of the Sandhenge. This is the vendor portion of the Sandhenge, and they have got a lot of vendors here. Really cool vendors. A lot of beach themed stuff. So if you like the beach tiki stuff, they got a lot going on. And they have food vendors way over there. They have a couple of bars. So it's been a good event so far. We're pretty happy with how it's worked out. But there's like 4 rows of vendors, so there's a lot of vendors. Anything you want to say?
I just think it's very cool. I've never been to a thing like this on the beach. First of all, I'm not jaded about living where I can be at the beach. I think it's amazing.
She's referencing me, but
yeah,
that's okay.
Because Cindy is jaded about living close to the beach.
Lived in Florida all my life.
I think it's awesome. Yeah. First of all, the sculptures are freaking amazing, and I love that it's also a whole other event.
Yeah. it is a pretty good event, and it's free. That's the great part. On the wallet at an event like this where there's social distancing, wearing masks inside the vendors, there's no danger anywhere. It really feels safe. There's a kite display, there's the sand sculptures, there's food, there's drink, and it's just been a great fall day in Florida. This is a sandbar out at Treasure Island, and it's pretty fantastic. You can see it's only inches deep where I'm at. And so there's Jamie and Jim, and there's the event of Stonehenge. And yeah, this is the sandbar I'm in on the Gulf Coast. And yeah, there's the event. Like I said, there's...
Where the sand dollars usually are. Is that
on the sandbar? Sand dollar for sandbars? Yeah, so this is the Gulf Coast of Florida, and it's a wonderful day trip. So if you're thinking of coming out for the day, can't really beat Treasure Island because it really is pretty awesome. And the great thing about Treasure Island is that there's a great intercoastal, so you can sit, even though you're not on the beach, you're on the intercoastal, and great views. We're at Salty Dogs. Okay, this is the
Key lime pie.
key lime pie.
Bunch of us.
Salty whatever.
Sea dog. Where's the sea dog?
No, you got to shot it. That's a good one.
Shot Cindy likes. I know.
Well, we thought we'd tell you some of the rankings and some of the things that we're going to tell you in some of these videos. First and foremost for both of us is the aching feet scale. How much is this going to hurt?
Right, and is the pain at the end of the day worth what I just did?
Right.
I have a broken foot. You'll probably hear me say that 12,000 times.
And
have
I'm
a broken
60.
foot.
and I'm 60. Which means I'm still pretty able to walk, but after a while I'm like looking for a bench, you know? I'd like to sit and watch
You know?
for a little bit.
Who doesn't want to sit down once in a while?
So we will have an aching feet scale from 1 to 5 feet.
Right, and one is, everybody can do this, even Jamie with the broken foot,
Right.
which we are now going to call me Jamie with the broken foot. So that'll be a 1.
5 is, yeah, no way is there anything else that we can do. This just wasn't worth the pain that we put ourselves
Right,
through.
or maybe it is worth the pain, but there's no way you're functioning for the rest of the day.
Right.
And we'll distinguish that when we're talking about, say, okay, this is a 5, but do it anyway.
Yeah, because some of the sites are definitely worth it that you don't want to miss. So, and also there's a worthiness. Is a place really worth going to for a full day trip or a half day trip? We'll let you know that if it's just a half day. But sometimes that's all you got is a half day. So,
Right. And we do right now we're doing a lot of day trips because we live in Central Florida, and there is a lot to do in Central Florida, a lot to do and see. So rather than waiting your whole life to go do something that you want to do and see, we take weekends to vacation and go and see things, and want to encourage other people to do that. Go out before it's too late and seize what opportunities you have.
So on the scale of worthiness, she's got to finish her eggs. You would, the number 1 would be, yeah, do it. We could go back here again and again and again, which there's some places that we do. Number 2,
Especially if there's a good bar.
Yeah. Number 2 is, we'd go back, especially if there's a lot of these little towns have special events, craft shows, car shows. So if there's a special event going on, you definitely want to go back. 3 would be, it's better than staying at home. And that's a pretty good scale for us if we're deciding where to go one day. We're just like, do we really want to stay home? Nope. Well, let's do this. 4 is pretty much, you know what? We should have gone to the pub instead. It wasn't a total loss, but we could have found a good pub to go to and sit and have a beer. 5 would be, well, at our age, there's better things to do.
I maybe rather clean the house than go there.
Yeah.
Well, you have to know that I'm a cleaner anyway, but still, that would not be, if I could go to the beach or clean the house, I would always go to the beach. So if I say, don't go,
there's a reason for
it ain't good. So when we go to a place, we are going to look for places to shop, places to eat, places to stay, places to have a drink, places to pee, as I'm going to tell you repeatedly. And events that go on. In Central Florida, there are a ton of events. Things like a strawberry festival, and so we'll talk about events in a place too.
Yeah. But, and also whether it's worth going to without an event there, because a lot of weekends, especially after the holidays in Florida, it's hot. And we're going to be telling you places that are really hot to go to, but they got shady spots, they got park benches, because that's important, actually, in my age. I don't want to be hot all day long. If there's places I can go in and out of that have air conditioning, that's kind of important. So we're going to be talking about the heat factor, too. And in Florida, that's pretty important. Now, when we go to Scotland, it probably won't be important, but that's okay. We love history, both of us, so I just like history off the top of my head, but she likes to actually research a lot of history.
One of my favorite places to ever go is Gettysburg, because you can feel the history there. You walk around and you can, there's an audio tour you can do, and you can walk around and they'll have like reenactments, so you can hear the battles going on behind you. That stuff is cool.
Yeah.
So I care about that. And in Florida, there at one time, not that we're always going to be in Florida, but at one time in Florida there were 300 forts from the tip of the peninsula up to the border, and they were intended to be a day's march, separated by a day's march. So there are lots of those around Florida. I have a goal to go to as many as I can. Lots of them only have a sign now, and some of them have nothing. There's some near where you used to live in Orlando.
Hi, again. We kind of got interrupted by housekeeping. It's always good to have a clean room.
However, we never got back to what we were doing.
We kind of forgot. Oops.
So here we are to wrap it on up.
That's okay.
So the last couple of things we intend to talk about for rankings would be safety, and that will entail basically how we feel about where we've been. If it's a place that we've really never been, we might do some research before we go to find out, all right, is there a time of day that we shouldn't be out alone? I have been to places like that where they tell you, don't go outside of this parameter after 8 p.m. So we'll talk about that. Basically what we have found out and how we feel about things.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of single travelers, a lot of maybe two women traveling together or a group of women. So you always still want to take your natural precautions. So don't necessarily take us as this is the golden rule. Always take the natural precautions, but we will tell you how we felt about being there. And sometimes women get a vibe. And we'll tell you what our vibe is about a certain place. And then we're going to get into the cost factor. There's basically 3 ranges we have: cheap, mid-range, and expensive.
Right. And we'll define specifically what they are, and we'll talk about what cheap means to us, because what cheap means to you might be very different. So we'll throw actual dollar amounts out that places we have found.
Most of the time we'll be going cheap to mid-range.
Right.
Just because we both work for a living still, and we are saving for our Scotland trip still.
Right, and
but once in a while we like to splurge,
Right,
and
that's
it's
right.
nice to go. Yeah.
I was just gonna say that, you know, if you've saved for a trip of a lifetime, yes, there are probably times that we are going to spend more money there. Like, I would love to stay in a castle when I'm in Scotland or in Ireland. Do they have castles in Ireland?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good to know.
I watched a YouTube video
So
about it.
see,
Surprisingly
I
enough.
said I don't watch YouTube for travel. I'm all about the true crime on YouTube.
Okay.
Anyway.
So our Treasure Island rankings for this weekend, it was a two. We stayed 2 nights.
Right.
The aching feet ranking, we're both going to give it a 2.
Right. I hurt a lot, but that's because we walked more than I needed to. But I would say you don't have to walk as much as we did.
Right.
There were other options. Bikes were available, scooters were available, sitting on your bum by the pool or the beach was available.
The promenade by the beach is all concrete. So if you're on a mobility scooter or something like that, that is a nice thing to have. Don't let that hold you back from going to Treasure Island, because you can. It's about a mile long. I did find that out.
Okay.
So the mobility issues. We could have driven a lot of places that we decided to
That we
walk
walked.
too. So so it was like at the end of the day we were tired because we did take a couple of long walks, but we could have cut that short. That's why we only gave it a 2.
Right.
So. It's definitely, don't let the mobility or the aching feet hold you back from getting to Treasure Island.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then the worthiness of the location, even if you put aside the event that I loved, and you can see from my exuberance in the earlier video that I loved it, even putting that aside, I say it's absolutely worth going there.
You've got white sandy beaches, you got shops, you got plenty of restaurants, huge variety to choose from. There's plenty to do. There's scooter rentals. You can go on the intercoastal and do boat rentals. You can do jet ski rentals.
Right. There was parasailing. There's deep sea fishing that they'll take you out. So
the worthiness, it's just about an absolutely, you should go there.
it's definitely worth the trip, and it was a beautiful beach.
Yeah.
So absolutely worth it.
There's not a lot of history there, but you're basically going for the scenery anyway.
Unless you're very young, you probably don't think things that are 1940 are super historical, because before that it was probably just beach. So not a lot of history, but I didn't care because that's not what I was there for.
Right. Yeah. Safety factor, we went there, we went out, took a walk out at the beach at 10 o'clock at night, and I felt totally fine. I
did
felt
too.
fine in the hotel also.
Yeah, and there were a lot of people in the hotel of different ages, and people were sitting outside their rooms, and people were having their doors open, going in and out. So I never was nervous or
We felt pretty good there. The cost factor. Treasure Island, you can do it on a dime and you can do it on $1. It runs the full gamut. There's plenty of, like we said, plenty of eat. You can go fast food the whole. You can do diners. You can do pubs. You can do mid-range
tiki
restaurants,
bars,
and then
seafood.
Tiki. So whatever dollar amount you have, there's something for your wallet.
In this case, how much did we spend on the hotel?
The hotel was only about $105 with taxes and everything. It was about $110, $120 for being on the beach. That was a pretty good price.
And it was a big size unit. It was
We
literally
had a
an
full
apartment.
kitchen.
I mean,
we had a kitchen and a bedroom and a living room.
Right.
So for the price and being right on the beach, it was a pretty good. We could have stayed in a nicer. The beach club was available. I think that was around the $200, $250 range. It just wasn't something that I wanted to spend my money on at that time, and I'm actually pretty happy we didn't.
Yeah, I loved the retro feel of this place.
We did use booking.com for this rental, so I don't know if you ever go on any of those sites. That's the one that we happen to use. So that just about wraps it up. And we hope you enjoyed what we've been doing. We really would like for you to like and subscribe.
And by all means, leave a comment, but respect your elders. Be nice. Thank you.
We will get better as we go along, we promise.
No, I don't promise. I make no promises. We'll do our best to get better.
So like and subscribe us if you can. We would really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. But now, it's the time for you guys to get going. Go out and do it now. And
Go.
I mean right now. Just get up.
Why are you
Like
still
and
here?
subscribe
And then go. Oh wait, and follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram. Yeah, we're on Instagram too. Bye. Get going. See ya. Go. I'm gonna go.
I'm just gonna fade out now. Bye.